Good morning. Today we are coming to the unit 6, that is tools and process of personal selling. Unit 1 and unit 2 we already have discussed. The different sub parts of unit 1 and unit 2 we have discussed in the classrooms, online classes. Today onwards we will start a new unit that is called unit 6. In a unit 6 the main emphasis has been given to the tools and process of personal selling. This is the most important aspect of total SDM or sales and distribution management. Before starting or before going into the main process or techniques of sales promotion, let me say personal selling is a part of promotional mix. We in the marketing management talking about the 4 P's for product and 7 P's of services. While we are talking about 4 P's, we talks about product, we talks about price, we talks about place, we talks about promotion. These are the 4 pillars or 4 P's of marketing, and on the basis of marketing strategy has been made. And the success or a failure of any organization basically depends on how good or how bad your 4 P's or 7 P's are. Within this 4 P, 1 P is promotional mix. While we are talking about promotional mix, or why we are saying promotional mix, not only saying only promotion, because within the promotion there are many techniques. There are 5 techniques would be part of promotion strategy. 5 techniques of promotion like advertisement, like direct marketing, like public relation, like personal selling, and the last it would be the online sale or public personal direct marketing. These 5 techniques should be part of promotional mix. These 5 techniques को एक साथ इकट्ठा हम लोग promotional mix बोलते हैं. In this promotional mix, that is one of the technique is called personal selling. The basic definition of personal selling is it's a personal mode of communication. Personal mode of communication between the end consumer and the organization. And through personal mode of communication, it is very helpful to understand the customized need of a customer. When you understand the customized need of a customer, and on the basis of that you can design a service and it can provide the utmost satisfaction to each and every customer. That is why to create a personal touch or to provide the personalized product or to create the utmost satisfaction to the customers, we need personal selling. Because personal selling provides a human touch to a human customer. And that human touch is very important in a marketing in today's phenomenon. Now, when we are talking about personal selling, we try to understand it is a part of promotional mix. The basic definition and basic concept of personal selling. Now, when we are implementing personal selling, there are few stages or there are few processes involved in it. While we are talking about the processes of personal selling, the first, it has mainly 2 processes. The first process of personal selling we call re-approach, and second technique of personal selling is called approach. So क्या हुआ? When we are talking about process or techniques of personal selling, there are 2 techniques of personal selling. Number 1, pre-approach, and second techniques is called approach. Pre-approach has 2 processes involved in it. I repeat, pre-approach has 2 processes involved in it. One is called suspecting, another is called prospecting. I repeat once again, pre-approach has a 2 process involved in it. One is called suspecting, another is called prospecting. Whereas approach has total 5 process involved in it. I repeat, whereas approach has mainly 5 processes involved in it. What are they? The first process under approach is called getting yourself accepted. Second process is called utter the desire statement. Utter the desire statement is the process number 2 for approach. Third, probing or asking questions. The third process under approach is called probing or asking questions. Fourth part of approach process is called marriage. Is called the stage of marriage. The fourth step of approach is called marriage. The fifth we call final check stage and closing. The fifth stage we will find the final check stage and closing. By saying closing, we mean to say close the deal. In some book, another step, that means 6 steps, also be incorporated in an approach process. This stage is known as objection handling. This stage is known as objection handling. So what exactly we are saying right now? We are saying personal selling is the personal mode of communication with the consumer, with organization. It gives personal touch to the people. We can understand the customized need while we making the communication or direct communication with the end consumer. And on the basis of that, we can provide them customized product. इससे क्या होता है? They will satisfied, they are overjoyed, they will be delighted, and they will be the loyal customer for an organization for long. This particular personal selling is a part of marketing mix, is a part of promotional mix also. Personal selling has a two aspect of its process. The first aspect, as far as the process of personal selling is concerned, is called pre-approach. The second process is called approach. Within pre-approach, there are 2 stages. One is suspecting, another is prospecting. Whereas approach stage mein there are 5 stages. In some books, it's also 6 stages. What are the first one? Getting yourself accepted, utter the prime statement, probing or asking questions, marriage. Fifth, it's called final check stage or closing the deal. As far as the 6th stage is concerned, in some book it has been says objection handling. These are the 6 stages, or invariably 5 stages in the approach stage. Now we comes in a detailed discussion of the different stages of pre-approach and approach. While we come to the pre-approach stage, there are 2 stages. One is called suspecting, another is called prospecting. Now question arises, what exactly suspecting means? Suspecting means finding the origin. Finding the origin for what? Finding the origin, where is the business, or from where the business will comes from. Suspecting is the process of searching the origin from where business leads would be generated. Why I need business leads? Because basically from business leads we can find the prospect, and from the prospect we can turn them into a customer. That is why to finding the information of regarding prospect, it is very necessary to finding the origins, to finding the source of information from where we can collect the data of the prospects. Now question arises, from where we can get the data of my prospect, or from where we can get the information about the leads. We have said there are 4 sources or 4 origins from where we can receiving the leads of a business. The first, published information. By saying published information, we means information that comes from different government authorities. Information comes from different non-government corporations. Like information regarding prospect can be received from telephone exchange, from newspaper, from magazine, from schools, from colleges, from employment exchange, from yellow pages. These all are the information sources that comes under published information type. Published information हम इसलिए बोल रहे हैं because this information are published either by the government authorities or by the non-government authorities. I hope it is clear to you. The second source for receiving data regarding the leads. Office old data of the office. Maybe the data that has been accumulated 3 or 5 years ago. At that point of time, the data is irrelevant. But after 3 or 5 years down the line, the same data may be useful. Such as for an institute, for an example, we can say an institute receiving data of a student, of a school-going student of class 8. Now 4 years ago, that 8th class में जो बच्चा पढ़ रहा है, for taking the admission in BBA, that data is irrelevant for me. Because class 8 में पढ़ता हुआ बच्चा BBA में admission नहीं ले सकता, because at least he should be 10+2 pass. But look, after 4 years down the line, the same child give the exam of 10+2. That point of time, that same data is viable for me. 4 साल पहले जो नहीं था. That is exactly we means to say the office old data. मतलब 4 या 5 साल या 2 साल पहले जो डेटा मेरे लिए काम का नहीं था, 2 साल 3 साल या 4 साल बाद the same data may be valuable for me. So what are the sources that we talks about? The first sources we said, it's the published information. Published information, again I mean to say information that is already published either by the government authorities or by the non-government authorities. Second, office old data. Office old data means the data that was received initially. At that point of time, the data is not useful. But right now, after 2 years, 3 years, 4 years down the line, the same data has a relevant to me. Now comes to the third source for leading the prospect. It's called referral. Look, referrals means your existing customers spread good word of mouth about you and they provide the information of further leads. This referral only be happen if your existing customers are happy with you. And please remember, this referral is the best source of generating leads. Because the referral or with whom you are communicate as a referral, he already listen good thing about you. So that is why being a salesman, when you get a leads through referral, it is very useful to turn them into a customer. And again, the referral would be generated only by your present customers or your ex-customers. And referral only be created if you or if your customers are satisfied with you And when referrals has been comes into existence, can be said that referred people know about you. Especially he is listen about the good word of mouth about the brand. So referral is, or you can getting a referred people as a lead without investing a single penny, or the referral lead is already mentally settled up by listening good thing about you. And the fourth, through business. Through business, you generate leads like cold calling, like sales calling, like telecalling. Or the leads can be generated through other employees or other workers. So there are four sources of suspecting that we talks about again. The first source that we have says published information. Second, we talks about office old data, referrals, and through the business or in the business. In the business, by saying in the business means when your telecallers give a call, give a cold call, give a sales call, or give a telecalling. Or some employees or your ex-employees giving some kind of reference or some kind of leads. So these are the four sources from where an organization can getting the information about their leads. Now, there is a small question arises when we are talking about leads or prospect. I will spend few times on it. Earlier also in the classroom we have elaborate discussion what exactly or what is the difference between prospect, customer and consumer. Again, for the sake of discussion, I putting little bit emphasis on these three terms again. When we are talking about prospect or when we are talking about leads, it basically means that leads or prospect may not invest a single paisa to your company, or they are yet to be purchased a single product. Then he has the capability, that means he has the money, he has the authority, and he has the desire to buy the products that you also purchase or you also selling in the market. That means all the mad qualities is present within an individual can be considered as a lead or a prospect of your brand. When that lead actually purchase your goods and reject your competitors, that means that same prospect or a lead turns into your customer. When the customer consumes the goods, then we can say the customer is a consumer also. Sometimes what we see, a customer pays for the product, but the product is not consumed by the customer, the product consumed by XYZ and other people. So the customer maybe pays for the product, but he is not consuming. That's why the customer may not be your consumer, or the consumer who consumes the goods may not invest a single penny. That's why the consumer may not be your customer. The main emphasis after suspecting, the next step of pre-approach is called prospecting. Now, what exactly prospecting means? Prospecting means through the different sources, the sources that just now we are talking about, from different sources, whatever information about the leads or about the prospect that an organization receives. Now the screening process has been adopted, or the screening process has been introduced. While we are creating the screening process to find whatever information that we are receiving, out of that we'll separate the prospect and reject non-prospect information. To find out the prospect out of many individuals, the process that has been adopted are called cold calling, telecalling, and sales calling. Through cold calling, a telecaller of an organization asks few questions to the individual whose number has been accumulated through the different origins. The first question that telecaller asks to an individual, what exactly the financial capability of that individual, the first one, what product they are currently using, what is the need they still have, what are the needs is not satisfied till now, what are the volume of the business that this individual can generate. If they are using a similar kind of goods, why they want to switch, and what is the financial health of an organization or an individual. After knowing all these criteria through over telephone, a telecaller comes into the conclusion whether the individual can be called as a lead or a prospect. When I am tagging an individual lead or a prospect, that means that individual has all the monetary, all the authoritative, all the desire is present to buy my product. If an individual is tagged as a prospect, the second stage, that is telecalling process, would be introduced. The first process is cold calling, second process is telecalling. Through telecalling, and telecaller try to understand or set an appointment, face-to-face appointment with the lead or with the prospect. When a telecaller received an appointment, then only sales call would be initiated. In a sales call, what happens? A salesman will visit the desired location, the desired in time, communicate, provide the sales speech, provide the USP of the product, and motivate the lead and turn him or her to a customer. This is how the prospecting method has been initiated or implemented. This suspecting and prospecting method both are part of pre-approach. Pre-approach means where approach is yet to be initiated. Before approach, within the sales personal selling, the stage is pre-approach, where suspecting and prospecting method we have talked. Now here, while telecalling or cold calling process is going on, a particular telecaller or a sales personnel should remember few etiquettes.